Hello everyone, Deb Floros for Art Beads. So I like working with large hole beads, and one of my favorite things to do is create some suspension earrings with large hole beads and 2mm Rolo chain. So I've got some gemstones from Dakota Stones, I've got these metal beads, and then I shifted over to gold tone and used these mood beads, which are super cool and fun and interesting, and combined them with some gold Rolo chain. All you need then are some jump rings, some ear wires, and you've got a lot of possibilities here. So what I did was picked out three. I know I had two in my hand there. I picked out three of those large hole African turquoise beads. They're 8mm, and I'm adding them to the chain to assess how long I want them to be. Sometimes I like these earrings to be really long, and they just sort of suspend and have great movement. So I'm putting them on the chain to see how they hang with the different lengths of the chain. So I cut the first one, and then to get the length of the second one the same, I'm using a beading awl to match up the lengths and then trimming the other piece of chain to be the same length. You could use a ruler as well. Now, one way to do this is you can take a jump ring and attach the chain on one end, add your beads, and then attach the other end of the chain to the jump ring. And that's how I'm going to do 2 of 3 of these suspension earrings. So I've got my chain on. I'm going to partially close up that jump ring, and then I'm just going to drop that chain right into those big hole beads. And the big hole beads work so nicely on this chain. They move around nicely, and they just look great. So the one thing you'll have to be cautious of is sometimes, because the lengths of the chain can be different, you'll have to kind of move the chain around and get it just right so that it hangs forward for your earring. So you may have to flip the chain around, you may have to cut a link, but just spend some time doing that so it will hang and orient right facing out. So I've got my little jump ring closed, and then I'm just attaching it to an ear wire, and you've got some really fun chain and bead earrings that suspend those beads for you. Now here's another silver version with a silver bead, and these are Tiara Cast Antique Silver Oasis large hole beads. I'm doing the same thing to cut the chain, but I'm not using jump rings this time. I'm actually going to attach my chain directly to my ear wire. So not much different in terms of how you do these earrings, how you put them together, and not much different in terms of making sure that your earring orients correctly. So your bead hangs the way that you want it to, and your chain hangs the way that you want it to. You're just doing it on an ear wire instead of a jump ring. So I'm just sliding one end of my chain on, holding on to the bead so that it doesn't fall, and then putting that other end of the chain directly onto the ear wire. So either way it works. You can do it however you'd like. And now I've got another suspension earring, and these are all silver and super fun. So these go with anything. I love the movement of these earrings. So here's that mood bead, and I've got the gold Rolo chain. Dropping that in, I'm going to use the jump rings for this one this time. And I want these to be a little bit long because I love the color and the design on these beads. They're so incredibly cool. And they are mood beads, by the way. So I'm dropping in that chain, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to grab a jump ring, going to add the chain to the jump ring, making sure that everything is oriented correctly. And then I'm going to add it to an ear wire. I love making these earrings. They're so much fun. A great way to showcase some of your favorite beads. I've got all 3 pairs here hanging so you can see how they look from both sides. And you can find everything to make these beautiful earrings at artbeads.com. Thanks so much for watching.